this is something I was interested in.
Massive win. Federal judge upholds Trump's mail-in ballot ban. Citizen-only voting. And Obama panics. This is by Benny Johnson.
The number one reason why you don't want to take third worlders from low trust societies and bring them to your high trust society is because that's the quickest way to make sure your high trust society becomes a low trust society. And it's happening all across the country.
And this is the problem with this is what do you call it? Blank slatism. It's you think that you can just take people from other countries that have like a completely different culture and that they will immediately.
People don't change their religion, and religion, all the traditions are shaped by your religion, nearly all of them. And so you take someone, you bring a huge number of immigrants from a completely different culture and religion. They're not going to fit in. They're not going to assimilate.
First off, you assume that they want to assimilate, which we don't even know if that's true, if they even want to assimilate.
No one wants to change their religion.
Like, we don't even check for that. But if they can assimilate, right? It's like completely two different things. In my opinion, any country that is like non-compatible, we should just not even let them in. And I think it's pretty obvious who the people are that are incompatible. I think it's very obvious. And I think it's totally fine for us to want to protect our culture as Americans. It's not racist at all. It's not...
We think our culture is good. Yeah, we should want to protect it.
It's not racist, bigoted, or whatever for us to say, listen, we have our own culture in our own country. So does every other country. Japan has its own culture. China, Europe, everywhere has their own. Africa too. They all have their own cultures. And for us wanting to keep our culture how it is, that's.
And if we don't do something about it, the nation is doomed. Come with me to Hamtramck, Michigan. This is a suburb of Detroit. It's notable because it's the only Muslim majority town in all of America. Mm-hmm. And the city's certainly seen better days. The main street is effectively abandoned, as is most of the city, except for, well, I guess they have...
Dude, let me tell you, I was alive during 9/11. There's no fucking way.
What did it say there?
Dude, let me tell you, I was alive during 9/11.
You were also alive for Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay. According to our lore.
There's no fucking way that I would have even possibly thought that like this would happen. There's no way, dude. There's no way.
Palestine Avenue now. Way to go. Really proud of all of you. We made a Palestine Avenue. Look at these Michigan residents here. Isn't that great? All these. This is what you think of when you think of Michigan, isn't it? Right, John?
Yeah.
Everyone. The point is that this 70% Muslim city that is comprised of mostly people from Yemen and Bangladesh. Has any
God, I would hate to live there.
American politician or globalist explained why we need infinity people from Yemen or Bangladesh in our nation?
Yeah.
No, they never.
Like, what is the reason that they want to let people in from these places? America is for Americans. So why do we need to let people in? It doesn't make any sense. Only if it benefits us. I keep saying this. It has to deal with whether or not it would actually benefit us for them being here. And very obviously, Americans care about their we Americans care about our culture, and we should be able to we should be able to say that we don't want that culture assimilating with ours because it's incompatible, and a lot of them don't even want to assimilate.
They never bother to explain these kind of things. They just do it, and then they've changed Hamtramck forever. It used to be 90% Polish Catholic, but in their infinite wisdom, they killed the auto manufacturing industry, and so they have to replace people. But they replace them with people from low trust societies that commit fraud. And then here's what you get. 2 Hamtramck city council members charged with election fraud and forgery. Wow. City council members on America's only Muslim city council. Boy, that should be more noteworthy. Where's that in the news? Mm-hmm. It just flipped to majority.
You see, people from low trust societies, it's low trust because people they commit fraud a lot. They're prone to that. They see an opportunity to commit fraud as your duty to defraud the sucker.
Be Muslim in 2021, and then immediately all of them are getting arrested for fraud. Funny how that works. And it works because of why? Because there's no ID verification, because of mail-in ballots. Of course, that's the theme of this news story. Michigan Attorney General.
We need the SAVE Act. We need voter ID.
They're going to say that there's no such thing as fraud,
has
right?
begun an investigation of 4 current city council members.
if Trump does manage to crack down on mail-in ballots and get voter ID required for the next midterm elections, together with the removal of gerrymandering by the Democratic Party that they're doing, that there's a small chance that the Republicans could hold the House. A small chance. I still doubtful, given how much economic damage is in the pipeline, but there's a lot of, let's say, inconsistencies in our voting system. If you remove those inconsistencies, I think it favors Republicans heavily.
Members and former council members for conspiracy to unlawfully obtain access to absentee ballots and to illegally vote with those ballots.
Yes, that is why mail-in ballots are bad, is because you have dishonest people voting hundreds of times on behalf of others.
You know, crazy part about this kind of stuff is that it's literally
shows a black pickup truck pulling up outside Hamtramck City Hall in the middle of the night, just days before the primary election. All of a sudden, the lights turn on inside the truck. That's when you spot 3 men inside, including what appears to be Council Member Abu Musa in the back seat. The same council member who is seeking re-election right now. The video then shows the driver getting out and stuffing absentee ballots into the drop box. The only problem?
I trust society.
He then starts pushing them in before reaching for 2 more stacks.
Shoot.
The whole time looking around to see if anyone is watching. After
Wait. I thought this never happens.
It never happens.
Fraud never happens with this. What? That can't be right. That can't be real. That's never happened.
No, the mountains of fraud. Yeah, but also back in 2020 election, mail-in ballots are a disaster in terms of voter fraud.
Happened before, right? Yeah.
2 minutes, the group drives away. And get this, Local 4 found that it happened again, only 4 days later. This time, a different car pulling up with what appears to be the same council member in the passenger seat.
Wow. Isn't this great? Hasn't globalization just been incredible for our high trust society?
I love it.
Hasn't it just been amazing to see what happens to these places?
I love not knowing if
if you look at vote totals, they definitely rigged the race.
The person next to me actually cares about America, number one.
70 votes, difference of like 80 votes, 70 votes, somewhere around there.
Love it. I love playing this game where I wonder if the person's allegiance is with if shit were to happen, like would this person next to me, would they be on Team America or would they be on Team China, Team Somalia, Team Iraq, Israel, Palestine? You know, I really like that. I really love the uncertainty, you know. It feels really good.
When you just literally turn the cameras on. Michigan councilman caught on camera stuffing election ballot drop boxes before primary. It's your classic Michigan politician here. It's a nightmare. It happens all over
76 votes.
The country, in fact. And the reason why it can happen with such ease, and there's always been election rigging and some levels of fraud, I think. There's always been.
And given by how much he was stuffing over 2 different days, he definitely stole the election.
And like shady practices, it is what it is, sunk in human nature. But the reason why this kind of stuff happens with such regularity is because you mail everyone a ballot. You see, when you mail everyone a ballot, you make the ballots worthless as a piece of junk mail.
Yeah, because anyone can just go in and just steal someone else's ballot.
And so someone can just come up, like here's from Massachusetts.
You gotta prove that you're like military or something like that, and you like literally cannot vote because you're like overseas or something like that. You gotta prove that.
Can just come up and grab the ballot out of the freaking mailbox and can commit fraud with it. Here's the lady who's allegedly that was her ballot.
Elections officials are now still waiting for elections officials to decide whether her in-person vote will count or the mail-in, which she says has her signature forged.
How come it's not going to be counted if I'm voting right in front of you and I'm telling you that vote that you have there is not mine?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That happened so often in 2020 election. People coming to vote and they found out that they'd already voted. How did that happen? Someone else voted for them.
They forged her signature, voted for her, and she shows up at election day and they're like, sorry, black lady, you know, all we hear are stories about black women being disenfranchised. Yet here's a black woman being disenfranchised, having her ballot stolen. Somebody voted for her.
Yeah,
nothing
diabolical.
Do you
It's
see
true
the
though.
problem
They
with
don't
all of this?
actually
Do you see the
care when
problem?
they say like black voters being disenfranchised. They don't actually care about that. It's only when it's only. Do you
Yeah.
want to talk about disenfranchisement? How about freaking illegal people voting? How about all of the illegal people coming there?
Every illegal vote disenfranchises the real voters. Not having voter ID disenfranchises everyone.
And then getting
That is a legitimate voter.
the ability to vote. How about that? How about that for disenfranchisement for minorities and like, how's that, huh?
With infinity mail-in
Stupid.
voting, and I don't know how many other different cases you have to bring up, how many other different times. We got to show you. It happens all around the freaking country. 5 charged in absentee ballot. This is in Connecticut. Crime stemming from 2023 Bridgeport primary. Wanda
They
the
only care when
stuffer
it makes them feel like good people.
stuffing piles of ballots in. They don't care. You know, I think it's a little bit ironic that the states that Kamala
You're creating a voter system that favors dishonest candidates that are willing to stuff ballots because with mail-in voting. Because not all the fraud is going to be caught. So you're going to have a lot of candidates that win that were the dishonest candidates that broke election laws.
Harris won right here in periwinkle blue. But those states, if you kind of
You want to know like a hack for life, guys? I'll give you a hack. This is a real true life hack right here for your ability of pattern recognition and perception. Okay, this is very important. So listen to me here. All right, if a person has to tell you how good of a person they are, they're not a good person. You should be able to tell from their actions. Their
I have never told anyone I was a good person. Never needed to.
actions should speak for themselves. If they have to like tell you that they're good, then they're not. If they have to virtue signal that they're good, they're not good people.
like perfectly over a map of the states without photo ID voting rules, you'll find a 1-to-1 correlation between states that don't use any ID to vote, that have infinity mail-in ballots, and the states that Kamala, there weren't any mail-in ballots. If we had voter ID, then would Kamala have won any states? Is kind of a really great question, I think, here.
That is true. Look, you look at that. All the states that don't have voter ID. Washington. One state. Voters without photo ID. So Washington has voter ID rules, and Kamala Harris won that one. So one state. New Hampshire. So 2 states.
Had voter ID, then would Kamala have won any states? Is kind of a really great question, I think, here. Is President Trump signing an executive order requiring citizens proof of citizenship to vote?
How could you be against this?
For voting, which are enormous amount of money the federal government spends on voting systems, will be tied to integrity compliance.
Listen, the only argument against this stuff, there's only like one argument really. The argument is like,
Thing is, this is why I hate this Iran war so much, is because I support stuff like this that Trump is doing. But he's going to be finished because of the stupid Iran war.
well, it would make it a pain in the ass, and we would need to like hire more people, and we would need to hire more people to enforce, right? You'd be like, oh, well, we need more people to like check ballots, more people to man stations. We're gonna need lots more people. But you know what? I feel like this is the one case that this is worth it, right? Like, and guys, I'm not a
absolutely.
huge fan of government spending. I hate taxes. I hate anything. I think the government is inefficient at everything it does. But this is its one job. This is one of the only jobs.
Spend
of
what
the
you have
government
to.
is to do this. If we have to pay more money to ensure election integrity, it feels like the most important thing we could spend money on. Because here's the thing, let's just be real, we're going to lose more money.
The one issue that pops into my mind that freaks me out is the France was it giving Romania $15 million to ensure voter integrity. Every time someone tries to rig the election with money, they say they're claiming they're doing it for voter integrity. When Zuckerberg funded all this stuff for the 2020 election, it was voter integrity. The balloting harvesting operation he was financing, it was for voter integrity. So the good people, yes, it's also for voting integrity, but the bad people, when they want to undermine the voting system, they also say it's for voting integrity.
If we don't have
So having the federal government spend more money on voter integrity, I'm like, it depends who's spending the money, what result we'll get.
have this, because then people are gonna abuse the system so that they can take more of our money. Everybody knows it.
Paper ballots, the attorney general.
They're gonna abuse the system so they can get more welfare so that they can waste more of our money, and then they're gonna up the taxes because they need more money
To track election fraud and crack down on late ballots and axes Biden's voter turnout executive order. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this sounds like a really good thing for anybody who wants secure elections. And Trump signed it. It's a fantastic executive order. He signed it back in March. It does a lot of really good things, but particularly says you have to be part of the state citizenship list. You need to be an American citizen. And if you are not an American citizen, you're not going to get an absentee ballot. You're not going to get a mail-in ballot. You're not going to get any ballot. Of course, it's illegal for you to vote. That applies to all states, but no state, well, at least these states refuse to do anything about it. And we all know why.
I wonder what they have in common.
Refuse. To do anything about it.
Honestly, this one's kind of surprising right here.
Oh, she notices it too.
Damn, really? But like,
I don't know why. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, obviously the left sued Trump over this, saying, no, we want the opposite of this. We want every illegal to be able to vote. We want every ballot to be mailed in the mail. We don't want any paper ballots, and we don't want anybody to be able to track election fraud. They sued Trump, and now in a massive victory, a judge has refused to block.
I love this Trump expression. It's like my favorite. Like every time they have like a clip or something with like.
That's one of Trump's better pictures.
This is a massive win for election integrity. Federal judge has declined to halt President Trump's executive order creating federal voter lists and limiting mail-in voting, clearing a way for potential sweeping changes of how American elections. U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols late Wednesday rejected a request by Democrats and civil rights groups that had argued that Trump's order would likely be found unconstitutional because the states of Congress, not the president.
Yeah, and half of his pictures have this orange filter put on them by the media. He looks like unnaturally orange.
The president have the power to set election rules. Nicholas agreed with the Republican Trump administration's contention that it was too early to block the order because it had not yet been implemented. Nicholas' ruling leaves open the door for further challenges when the Trump administration moves on to implement the president's directive. A separate lawsuit seeking to block the executive order is underway. You know, in Boston, isn't that amazing? This is Boston. This video is from Boston of this dude going in and ripping out the ballot of this black woman who's like, they literally stole my ballot and voted for me. But don't worry, libs are suing Trump over this. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. When you hear about them saying black woman enfranchisement, oh, you're going to disenfranchise black voters. Ask about that lady. Overnight, D.C. Federal judge denied a request by Democrats, voting rights groups to block Trump's executive order on mail-in voting. Judge Nichols ruled preliminaries. And this is the ruling, a massive victory against activist groups' attempts to block Trump from securing the mail-in voting system. Trump's executive order will remain in place. Proud to lead this win against the left, seeking lawfare to undermine the ability to have secure elections. Well done. Trump is fairly quiet.
Yeah, the problem is, without the Iran war, given everything Trump has done and everything that he would have been able to retain the House and the Senate in Republican control. But then he did the Iran war.
Removing the ability for Democrats to cheat.
I don't think either side should really cheat, to
deny
be honest.
Injunction seeks to block President Trump from saying only Americans can vote in American elections.
Damn, what a
The
concept.
levels to which we have fallen. We all know what's going on here.
I haven't heard you chime in on the Iran war at all so far, Leaflet. But you're happy about this, but you do understand that because of the Iran war, it's all useless. The economic pain, high gas prices are going to completely negate everything Trump does to secure the election. Because people are honestly going to be upset with Republicans for the high gas prices.
Crazy thing is, guys, I don't know about you guys, but I keep thinking about this. How if Trump didn't win, it'd be over. That'd be it. Like game over, because the border would have been right. We would have had another 4 years of Biden era policy where there's just so many people coming in and nobody getting deported. It would have been over. Basically, they would have had like full control forever. And that's probably, dude. You know what it's like.
There would have, and we'd probably be. They'd probably be instituting a draft by now to fight the Iran war that Kamala Harris would have started to.
You know what it's like, dude? It's like they had Exodia. They had like 4 pieces of the Exodia, and then Trump came in and like cucked them like right at the end, right? Like they only needed 1 more piece of Exodia.
We all know what Democrats want. They want Hamtramck across the entire nation because that you can control.
We really owe Elon a lot.
Yeah.
Dude, I keep saying this, man, that Elon buying X, that was the point in which history shifted. That was the timeline altering event, right?
It was a huge deal. Whether it did have a big impact, huge impact. The deep state is collapsing, had been collapsing. Trump won without Elon controlling X, but it was a huge step in the right direction. Elon taking control and making X free.
Right there.
Right? The free American people.
Which is why, like, dude, say whatever you will about him fucking cheating at, like, Diablo or whatever. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna be real. He can cheat in.
Yes, Elon Musk did that. He cheated at Diablo and pretended he was a better player than he actually was. I just think that's funny. What really matters is X being free.
Whatever. He deserves to cheat in whatever game he wants. I'm just being real. Like, this guy could straight up wall hack, aim hack in Valorant, and I'd be like, what a good guy.
Are able to vote and are able to be persuaded, you can't control. And they've already lost that.
He deserves it, man.
So now it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for them to lose the ability to rig the vote. Keep fighting with us. Like, share, and subscribe.
Well, I support all efforts of the Trump administration to secure our voting system. And, well, I wish you hadn't done the Iran war that's going to cost Republicans the midterms, but on this front, I'm very happy with what Trump is doing. Anyway, this will be on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Come watch on Kick our Twitch, and I'll see you next video. Bye.